Man, back in the crib. Back in the house, day before the 4th of July, which don't mean shit. If you're melanated, it shouldn't mean shit. But I got to drop one. Wait for a couple people to drop on in here before I get started. What's cracking, y'all? I know I don't do many live streams. That's why y'all got to get in when you can. When the universe sends the information through, you better jump on in here, goddammit. So, like the title said, this is reparations versus restitution. You don't really hear that word restitution much. What up, what up? You don't really hear that word restitution much, but it's a powerful word, especially in the law. And it's actually the word that melanated people should be using on their little, this little campaign they have going on right now. This reparations campaign. It should have been what they were looking for from the beginning. So we're gonna break down both of those words and both of those concepts and see which one should you be riding on. Because as far as most people think, even though I may argue against reparations, I'm not against, getting compensation for the fucked up shit that's happened to melanated people, since the colonizers have come over here, or since they've taken over. So you definitely should be compensated for all the fuckery. Now, however, you have to come in the correct status in the correct way in order for you to get compensated. I mean, you have to understand these things, law is the utmost be-all thing in the world. And if you don't understand law and status and how to come at governments and contracts and all, you're not going to get anything. This is where the melanated people fail to understand. We don't do our research. We want to get emotional about everything and then just roll off without any understanding, any research. You know what I'm saying? So this is where the hard part comes in. You got to start researching. So they just had the reparations hearing. I think it was about a week and a half ago, and it's the reparations for HR 40. I think that's what it's called. And so HR 40 is just a bill, which is hilarious. HR 40 is a bill that they're trying to get passed so that they can start researching slavery. So they can get a panel together so they can start researching slavery in America, or actually in the world, and then see how all of that plays in, and then see how the reparations are going to play out. Now, again, they're just trying to get some shit passed just so they can research slavery. You think they're going to give you some money? They're trying to block the research so you can't even look it up. But what's going to happen when all of the research comes in? When they really start looking up shit and start seeing what's going on, the history of slavery, and how you niggas, you melanated people, were not the first slaves in America. You weren't the first slaves in the world. You started that shit. So where does all of that come to play? Where does all that play in to your reparations argument? That's going to fuck up everything, because the truth of the matter is that Caucasians were the first slaves in America. Kidnapped Caucasians from Ireland and Britain, they were the first slaves over here. Even though they called them indentured servants, that was just the title they placed on them, but it was bullshit. They snatched them up off the street, just like they actually kidnapped them more than they kidnapped you. They didn't even kidnap Africans. 90% of Africans who were in slavery were sold into slavery by other Africans. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's what what's his name? The Harvard professor, John Lewis Gates. He breaks that shit down all the time, and he gets shit for it every day. But it's actual fact. No scholar is going to dispute that. 90% of motherfuckers who were in slavery were sold into slavery by other Africans. You know why? Because they wanted guns. Guns was playing out at that time, and so the tribe, or or nation or over there who had the most guns, they had the power. So it became a game of snatching niggas up, selling them into slavery, so you can get them guns from the Caucasian. So that was the deal. So where does all of this play into your reparations? Reparations, right? So what does reparations mean? What is the definition of reparations? This is where first of all, we should start with anything. When you're embarking on some type of of crusade or mission or, you know what I'm saying, activist cause. You need to understand what that is. And that means from the very beginning, what is the definition or the etymology, the meaning of what of the philosophy or the cause I'm embarking on. And so reparations, what does that mean? Most people think, oh, it means to repair, right? To repair. But what does repair mean? All right, let's break that down. Let's look it up. So this is, you see how fucked up this shit is. This is how messed up your books need to look if y'all gonna really be about your game. So this is the Oxford Dictionary of English Etymology, right? Oxford Dictionary of English Etymology. All right, so let's look up reparations. It comes from the word repair, right? What does repair mean? Repair. Betake oneself. Resort. And this is in the 14th century. That means the 1300s. Of the Old French, repere, modification of repairer, repere, taken from the Latin repatriare, to return to one's own country. That's what it means. 1300s. To return to one's own country. All right? It doesn't mean to fix what's broken. That's the definition that came after in the 1600s, 1600s, which is, 14th century, excuse me, or what they call the 15th century, which is the 1400s. So that's what repair means, to return to one's own country. So what do you truly mean by when you're coming back and you're looking for reparations? Do you want to go back to Africa? Because most of you people who are calling yourself, who are looking for reparations, are saying that you're from Africa. You want reparations for slavery because you were stolen from Africa. So the true definition of what you mean, the true meaning of what you're the cause you're embarking on means you want to go back to Africa. But take your ass on back then, nigga. That's really, you want to go back to Africa? They set up Liberia for all the fucking free slaves over in America. There's a country for you right there. You don't need to, you can go your ass right back to Liberia right now. That's the true meaning of the word. But if you're going to truly get the benefit of what the word means, you have to understand that you are already here. You're not African. You're not descended from Africa. I put this in the video, 40 Acres and a Fool. If y'all haven't seen that, go look at the damn video. I put it together as concise as possible. There's no holes in that damn video. If you got questions, if you think you can bust through that, you full of shit. That video right there, I put everything in there. So you are not from Africa. Most of you are not from Africa. About 300,000 descendants of 380,000 of you are from Africa. So those are the people who are looking for reparations, really. But anybody else, you are already here. So to truly get reparations, to return to your one's own country or to one's own land, means you have to come back in your true status as aboriginals of the land. Why the hell else do they think they're hiding all of that shit from you? Who the hell you are? This land has the most resources of anything. Y'all are crazy. This is what, dude, they are not giving up this land, especially you coming back calling yourself African. So how do you come back? How do you get that back? So most people, they're emotional about the shit that we've gone through while we've been subjugated within the society of the colonizer, which is some real shit. We've experienced some great atrocities while being behind enemy lines. And you damn well should be compensated for that. But what does that mean? You want restitution, right? This is you've heard that in the law. When somebody gets wronged, they get restitution for the wrong. These are legal terms that you want to deal with. So restitution, what does that mean? This is the etymology of restitution. So restitution is the act of giving back, right? The action of giving back. A restoration to a former state, okay? A restoration to a former state. Okay, so after you were freed, after melanated people were freed, where were you? What grounds did you make in this society? You made great grounds, made great gains in this society, especially up until the early 1900s, where Black Wall Street, there were more than one Black Wall Street. Most people only know about the one because of the 3,000 deaths, but there were many Black Wall Streets. Brothers owned 160 banks in America, over 600 businesses. I mean, it was mad. We were mashing out in America right before the Black Wall Street thing happened. Then you got Jim Crow and you got all this other shit that starts to come down the pipe that starts to separate and break things down. Redlining and all the rest of this shit, the fuckery that starts to put you behind the 8 ball some more. Because they understood that you had all the goddamn power. You had the brains. This is really your land. And they didn't really want you to find that shit out. But just being in their society, they cannot give you the same, they can't put you on the same plane and the ground as their citizens in that society. Because you move so goddamn fast, you're such about your shit, you're gonna surpass them, bam, just like that. So what did they have to do? They had to start smashing on you. So you want restitution for that shit. For stuff like, to give an example, bulldozing. The word bulldozer comes from a bull's dose, because that's how much they used to beat you. They used to give you a bull's dose worth of a beating to discourage you from voting, right? So this is the stuff you have to start picking out the things the atrocities that happen to you and get restitution for that. If I want restitution from somebody who came and robbed me, I'm gonna have to enumerate what I lost. Oh yeah, nigga got me from my stereo. Oh yeah, he stole my big screen. Oh yeah, this nigga came in here and he pissed in my bed. Nigga went in my refrigerator. Nigga ate all my goddamn my chicken sandwiches I had in there. Nigga, I wanted my chicken sandwich. Nigga went in my garage. Nigga got my car. You gonna have to start naming all the things of how you were wronged. This is restitution. So this is what they think they're doing with HR 40 coming down the line. They think they're gonna, they're putting together a committee that's gonna be able to break down and see how we were wronged and put that in a list and say, okay, we want we want reparations for this, and this. That's not gonna happen. Again, you want restitution, okay? Restitution. Let's get down to the background, the bare break of it. Restitution, also breaks down from the Latin restitution, from restitutiare. It means to set up. Okay, to reset up, to restand. So as we were getting out of that society, as we were breaking out of the slavery mode and being integrated into the colonizers' community, you were mashing. You were setting yourself up for greatness in that society. But then they came and they saw that and they had to cut you down. This is what you want. You want to be put back on the track to where you were when they cut the legs from under you. Back at Black Wall Street. But you only don't want that. Now you want compensation. You want interest. This is what's the term? For damages. I forget what's that. It's like for because you've suffered emotional damage and shit like that. That's what you want to pile on the restitution. You want to pile on the money for that because you've suffered such mental anguish and everything for all the shit that they've done to you since you've been in captivity and all the shit that they fuck with you. That's what you want. That's what you will get paid for. If you had a lawsuit, if you guys got together and had a class action lawsuit for restitution for the atrocities that you've committed since you've been in the colonizer system, you would have far greater chance of getting money for that than reparations for slavery, because slavery is such convoluted over here. The history is so convoluted because they don't want you to know that you weren't slaves. If that cat comes out of the bag, then they're gonna say, all right, well shit. It was 4 million. Wait, hold on. Oh, hey. It was 4 million slaves in America in the 1800s. 4 million. But you only bought 380,000 over here from Africa? Where the hell else did the rest of the 4 million come from? Especially when of the 380,000 that were bought over here, 2/3 were women and children. Excuse me, two-thirds were women and children. Excuse me, men and children. 2/3 were men and children. So how are you going to produce the rest of those slaves in America? That means you already had to be here. They cannot let that cat out of the bag. I guarantee you that if they get this HR 40 passed, it's not going to pass the Senate. They're trying to pass the House right now. Then they're going to have to move to the Senate. The Senate is going to block that. That's why they had in the reparations hearing, they had people, melanated people, people that look like you, to counter argue the point. And they had some actually good points. Like the one brother, Coleman Hughes, who was saying, look, it's fucked up that we were in slavery. Yeah, that's some bad atrocities. Yeah, you're right. That's all fuckery. However, should everybody who was descendants of slaves get compensation for that, even if their history, if they turned out well? Because he's like, look, I went to Yale. I'm Ivy League. My family got money. But we were descendants of slaves. We got that history. So should I get that money, or should that money go to somebody who actually need it? So if you're talking about reparations for slavery, then does the money get to the people who really deserve it and who really can use it? He's like, no, y'all just coming up with some bullshit. Y'all using a goddamn hatchet instead of a scalpel. So again, you have to get into that history and break down what you're talking about. So that's the etymology. Let's look up the legal definition. So again, this is what you're going to have to prove. This is what you're going to have to come with in the law when you're coming back with your reparations bullshit. So repair. Remember, reparations come from repair. All right. To mend, remedy, restore, renovate, to restore to a sound or good state after decay, injury, dilapidation, or partial destruction. Now, this is where it gets really thick, where they explain what it means. The word repair contemplates an existing structure or thing which has become imperfect and means to supply in the original existing structure that which is lost or destroyed, and thereby restore to it the condition in which it originally existed. When were you ever whole in America? When were you ever a complete structure? Never. You were never that. So what the hell are they going to restore you to? You were just a bunch of niggas trying to make it. Period. Some of us was doing great. Most of us wasn't. And you had different all over the place. And some of the people who were doing great were descendants of slave owners. Melanated people. 30,000 slaves in America were owned by melanated people. And some of that money trickled on down to their descendants, and they became wealthy and still wealthy because of it today. So where does the damn line go? The true point is you need to understand who you truly are and come back. If you're really coming to get your reparations, you have to come back in your true status. Changing your status puts you in a whole different game in this society. Because now, as an Aboriginal, your land cannot be taken from you once you regain it. I'm not for going back to the government and trying to get your land and telling them, yo, I'm an Aboriginal, you owe me my inheritance. I don't necessarily believe in that shit. I believe, we played the game, we lost it, they got it. Now it's up to you to come together and understand and figure out how to get the shit back. That's why I just put out the video on organization, the science and power of organization. And it's funny how when I put that video out, how much less views it gets because it's dealing with some shit that you need to do, that you got to do, actions than the other emotional shit that I put out that gets more views. The mental masturbation bullshit that you can say, oh shit, I know this now. I know this knowledge now. I can go spit this to the homies and to, you know what I'm saying, to some girls so they can think I'm smart or whatever the hell it is. When it's some shit that you got to put some shit to action now, it doesn't get as many views. But the shit that you need to do to start getting ahead, nothing exceeds or succeeds without unity, man. Nothing. The bullshit that Jordan won championship by itself, yeah, everybody know that's some bullshit. Nothing is done by itself. So they just had a conference, the HSBCU conference for Africans. It was like the African Union, and they were all in there and they were breaking down what they need to do. The ambassador to the African Union, I forget her name. Y'all need to go look this up on YouTube. She gave a speech that killed the entire game. This is Roland Martin. You can find it on Roland Martin's channel. He live streamed it, and then he did like a talk about it afterwards. But the first speaker is the ambassador to the African Union to the United States, the ambassador of the African Union to the United States. Watch the speech she gives about why Africa is so fucked up, about how the French came in and when they decided to give Africa its sovereignty, they broke Africa up into little pieces and then gave each individual little country in Africa its own sovereignty and said, all right, y'all got the same sovereignty as America. Now go. But if you give all these little individual countries the same sovereignty as somebody like America or China, as she begins to explain, it's like a boxing match. You got different weight classes. You can't put Africa or like a little country like, you know what I'm saying, some little country in Africa with like only 1.2 million people in it against China with 1.2 or 1.4 billion people. You gonna get your ass knocked out. That's like putting Pacquiao in the ring with Mike Tyson. That's not gonna happen. No matter how dope Pacquiao is, Pacquiao gonna lose 100 out of 100 times against Mike Tyson, because all Mike Tyson got to do is blow on him, and he gonna fall. So it's the same thing. And so they broke him up, and then they put him on the national stage and said, "Look, y'all go and y'all fight it out." Which makes all of them have to fight against each other for the attention of all the other big people on the stage. So if China comes in and says, "Yo, I'm gonna give a deal to Eritrea," you know what I'm saying? "Yo, let me come in and get this resource, and this resource," and then they lowballing them, and then Eritrea's like, "Nah, we're not doing that." They say, "Okay, well, we'll just go right over here to the next little small country and offer only $1 more." Or they don't take it, oh, we'll go to the next country, offer $1. That's how they do. They always conquer you by separation. It's the same game. And this is how they keep Africa separate. This is why Africa's coming together now. And they just voted on anything that they do internationally dealing with the UN. They're all gonna go in as one. It's all been ratified. Like 56 countries in Africa ratified that shit. They like, oh, we're all on one accord. That's it. Fuck that. They done broke us up. They you know what I'm saying? And they came in here where the French, like they don't even know, like the French, when they released Africa, when the French released Africa, they only did it by giving them what they call the compact to the compact to remain in colonization or something like that. Basically, we'll only let y'all go if you say we can still be colonizers in your country. Not only that, you still, whatever resources are found in your country, we get first right to those resources. Not only that, 85% of your economy, of the money that's generated in your economy that you put in the banks, 85% of that got to be deposited in the French central bank, which the French then take 85% of that, put it in the stock market on the French stock market, and make trillions of dollars off of African money that they don't give back to Africa. Do you see how the separation? It's only by you motherfuckers coming together as you gonna defeat shit like that. And so the ambassador, she's dope as fuck. Like, if y'all, I mean, if y'all looking for a new hero or somebody like that, somebody to ride for, go look up the ambassador, the African, the UN, excuse me, the African Union ambassador to the United States. She's actually from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. That's where she was living. She's from Africa, but she was chilling in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and she dope as hell. So I'm only saying that to say, when you guys come back and you guys want reparations, or you're trying to get payment for the atrocities, you're not gonna do it separate, and you have to come back on one accord. But you're not gonna come back, you know what I'm saying, as black, African American, descendants of Africans. They've already ruled on that shit. They completely ruled on that. So, so this is the other thing. For you guys over here, coming together and creating small little groups to unify and do something is not really hard. We have done this. I've been in this investment group for over a year now. Like our year anniversary will be tomorrow, the 4th of July. That was like our first meeting was on the 4th of July last year. We've been doing it. We got 3 stores. We're invested in 3 different cannabis industry, real estate, cannabis businesses. We're out there, we're mashing. Anybody can do that. I mean, you guys can do it as well. You don't have to create giant groups, small groups, and then people who want to do something will see you guys working, and then they'll join. It has just small groups here and there, and let it grow. But you don't. You have to get out there and do it. Like, so, just stuff that you can do. There's an organization called Fundana. Go to Fundana. That's cannabis investing. They have real estate businesses, growing businesses that you can just invest $50 to $100 to $200. That's investing. Come together as a group, get your money together, and then make a giant investment in that. And then you can go around and just not invest in one company, invest in different companies. There's another company called Republic.co. These are tech companies that you can invest $50 to $100 in, these small startup companies with great technology. They just need the investors. They're trying to reach a small amount of money to invest. Boom, get off the ground. But you guys have to start unifying and getting off the ground and doing some shit. There's so many of those out there, but unless y'all organize and get together and come together to do it, nothing is gonna happen. So, that's on the organizational tip. I also want to let you guys know that I'm getting ready to do a Know Your Rights series. I'm also about to create something called Know Your Rights cards. Know Your Rights cards. These are going to be small little cards about maybe this. You can laminate it, that you can carry in your wallet. You can carry on you. It'll also come with a list of procedures and laws that you guys should know, and things that you can do at a traffic stop, at a police stop, really, because it's not just a traffic stop. You want to know what to do, even though if a police walks up on you on the street or comes to your home, all these different things. So you guys heard me mention a friend of mine who's Officer Trey. So we're coming together and we're putting together these things, and they're going to be these Know Your Rights cards. Know Your Rights cards have been around for a long time. The government gives Know Your Rights cards to immigrants because if they don't speak English well, and they come and they encounter a police officer, and they can't speak the law really well, they have a card that they're able to give the police officer to show them that, you know what I'm saying, this is my laws, these are my rights, you know what I'm saying, I'm a new citizen, blah, 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 whatever it may be. And so they don't have to have as much interaction with the police, you know what I'm saying, as need be. Because the truth of the matter is, you guys don't understand, the police, when you meet the police, when you guys run into the police, their job is to try to prolong the encounter to try to find something wrong. So even like say at a traffic stop, when they come up to the traffic stop and they say something like, they come up to you and say, excuse me, do you know why I stopped you? They're asking you that for a specific reason, because they're trying to get you to admit fault and guilt. After that, then they can proceed and do other shit. That's why you should never, ever talk to a police officer any more than you have to. So this goes back to the other thing I wanted to talk about was that Central Park 5. If you guys watch that that documentary or that docu-movie on Netflix, When They See Us, you'll understand that those little kids went to jail specifically because they didn't know minor law. Just like don't say anything to the police officers without a lawyer. Their parents was there. Their parents didn't even know that. And then the parent came out and said they, you know what I'm saying, they used our lack of knowledge of the justice system against us. So totally away from you changing your status and all the rest of it, you don't even need to know all that. You just need to know the rules of the system in which you live. You just didn't wake up into some place with no rules one day. This shit has been going on for hundreds and thousands of years, and you woke up and you was like, oh, I'm just gonna walk out here and I'm gonna do what the fuck I'm gonna do and not know shit, and and when some shit happened to me, oh my God, I've been wrong. No. Did you go against any rules of this system? Did you take the time to get out and learn the rules and what you can do and what you can't do and what you can tweak and what you can't tweak? You haven't done any of that shit. So the kids, if you go and watch the interviews with the kids, the actual interviews, the police officers are literally giving them or telling them to confess. As they're running down, they're like, didn't this happen? Like, didn't this happen? And they're like, uh-huh. And he's like, yeah, and then yeah. And they're so all the whole while, they're literally, they're confessing to a crime that they had nothing to do with, all because the police officers told them that if you just tell us this, we'll let you go. So with all the fuckery going around just with basic law, we have to come up with some type of system for you guys to be able to use just minimal, in a minimal situation. Because most of you, the fact of the matter, most of you don't know the rules of the law. Like, I'll give you an example. When a police officer goes off the handle and he just starts, shut up, and you can't do this and do that, and just starts ordering you all over the place. Most people think that your rights are being violated at that police stop. The fact of the matter is, it's not. The Supreme Court has given a police officer something called unquestionable authority, or unquestioned command is the actual quote from the Supreme Court case. And that's because they believe that a police officer's safety is at a stop like that. A police officer's safety exceeds that of your rights, of your Fourth Amendment rights. So they've given the police officer something called unquestioned command, where they can say, you know what, they can take control. If you trip it and you say one thing that they don't like, they can do anything at the stop, pretty much. This is why you have to know the law. What you can say, what you can't say. Sometimes the police officers will try to extend the stop longer than the stop is supposed to be. A police stop is only supposed to be long enough to affect the time of why they stopped you. Meaning, and this is the Supreme Court has ruled on this. They cannot hold you longer than any longer than the time or what it takes to effectuate the stop. So meaning that if they stopped you for a tail light, they can only do what that stop entails. As for your driver's license, your registration, run your driver's license, look for to see if you got warrants. That only takes about 10 to 15 minutes at most. This is coming from a police officer. He's breaking down. He's like, if they're holding you for more than 15 minutes, they're trying to find some shit on you. You fucked up. You've been talking too much, and they're trying to find some shit on you. So again, these are things that you have no idea that the police can do. They can legally tell you to get out of the car. This has been ruled in the Supreme Court. This is what's called, if you don't know the terminology, it's called a Terry stop. That's because it's from Terry, the Supreme Court case, Terry versus Ohio. So a police officer can pull you out of the car because, again, they ruled like the police officer standing on the side of the car talking to you puts him in danger of oncoming traffic. So if the police officer wants to ask you out of the car and pull you to the side to effectuate the stop, they can do that. Also, a police officer can tell the passenger to get out of the car. See, this is what most people don't believe that shit either. So these are things that most people been looking at TV and thinking they know the law, and you don't know. These are things that are legally that the police officers can do that you have no idea, that you're always fucking up when you say, "Bro, you violating my rights. I know my rights." That ain't the shit. If you know your rights, express your rights. Every time you say to a police officer, "I know my rights," they know you don't know shit. Because if you did know your rights, you would just use them. So this is the other thing. This is the thing we're doing. I'm getting out again, starting to Know Your Rights campaign. I'm trying to get this shit viral. You have to know your rights, even on a small scale. On a massive scale, you definitely want to know your rights as far as your status and why you've been here. But on a smaller scale, every melanated person in this society, everyone really, and this is not just for melanated people, this is for everyone. Everyone should know your rights. But I'm starting this Know Your Rights campaign, and it has to go viral because what happened to the Central Park Five, the one dude, Corey. Now the one dude, Corey, he went to jail for the longest, like 14 years. He went to jail for absolutely no reason. When they came to get his friend, they had his friend on the list, and he was just with his homie on the street. And they said, "What's your name?" He goes, "Oh," he tells him his name. He's like, "Oh, you're not on the list, but you want to come down with your boy? Come down to the police station with your boy for support?" You're like, "Oh yeah, I'll roll down to the police station." He gets down to the police station and he don't leave for 14 years. He wasn't even he wasn't even a suspect. So because he didn't know the law, he gets in there and he starts spouting off at the mouth, "Oh yeah, I did this and whoop-de-whoop, and they raped this and whoop-de." He goes to jail 14 years. The other ones get only 7 years, 7 to 8 years. Because they didn't know just the little fact of don't say anything. Just that. So again, this is one of the movements we're pushing. Know Your Rights cards will be coming out. They're going to be laminated, like I said. Have laws on the front, certain procedures that you should do on the back, and all you will have to do, you should study the cards. When I get them, you should study the cards and the list of things that you can and you can't do. But all you have to do is hand it to a police officer, because they get these all the time from again, immigrants. They get them from the government, the State Department, because they may not know, they don't speak English, so they have to know their laws, they have to know their rights, and they can't articulate them well a lot of the time. So boom, take that, and these are my rights. So we're gonna have some Know Your Rights cards. If they can have some Know Your Rights cards, we're gonna have some Know Your Rights cards, and then from there we're gonna grow from that. Because you need to start somewhere in knowing what to do in the society. You have to stop being emotional about the white man, the white supremacy we can't do nothing because white supremacy is gonna stop everything. No matter what you do, they're gonna shoot you. Fuck all of that. It's only your lack of information that keeps you down, period. And as long as you let the lack of information keep you down, they good with that. They good with you thinking they the devil. They good with you thinking they started slavery. They good with you thinking they rolled all the way over to Africa and conquered a whole continent of motherfuckers who've been there for fucking hundreds of thousands of years, who were smarter than them. All good looking out. They're good with letting you think that. They don't dispute it at all. But it's not the actual facts. All you gotta do is just go look it up and you can see that's not the fact. You can see niggas sold niggas to other Caucasians. That's the facts. But you get so emotional, "Oh, we were slaves." You start picturing roots and all the rest of that bullshit, and you get emotional and you can't do shit. And they're like, "Oh, they're emotional." Great. Thank God. Because when you stop being emotional and start doing shit, that's when they get scared. So my whole thing is for this whole movement, the Know Your Rights cards, Know Your Rights movement. And as far as you guys understanding your status, remember, this is a whole different thing. This has nothing to do with your status. It has nothing to do with that. This is just basic law that I'm going to put out that you guys can use every single day. Teach your kids minimal stuff in encounters with the police. This is what you say. You know, this is what you can do. This is what you can't do. And hopefully you guys will start to learn the law and this will spread around. But this is the thing that we have to get out. Also, to make the cards, to make the packages, there's some equipment that I'm going to need to get. So I need you guys to support. Get over to the Reelnagas shop and get the Reelnagas book, Melanin book for me. So again, remember, this is the 114 years of information that they've been stocking up on you about your melanin. I've said this a million times, but in this book, they've said the reason for the civil rights movement was because your melanin was turned on. They found a way, apparently, to turn it off. They found a way to separate you and break you up and give you pimps and hoes and you know what I'm saying, and all the rest of the shit, the fuckery that they give you in the hood, so where you don't want to be. You don't want to be connected anymore. They saw the Black Panther movement rise, and they saw, they was like, oh, hey, oh, no, hey, hey. Oh, hey, let's break that shit up. And on the scientific level, they understood why that was happening. That report came out in the 60s, that your melanin was turned on, which is why you were connecting and you were growing and unifying. So again, we have to get back to that stage. So everybody, if you ordered the book, if you ordered a hard copy, I'm going to give you 3 status classes and 2 God classes. All right, 3 status classes and 2 God classes for the hard copy. If you ordered a digital copy, I'm going to give you 2 status classes. All right, digital copy, 2 status classes. Hard copy, you get 3 status classes and 2 God classes. All right, because this information needs to get out there. We have to start unifying and organizing. All right, unifying is just coming together. Organizing is doing something with the unity. There's a difference. Just unifying. We can come. This is unifying right here. My five fingers have unified. Bam. That's organizing. What my 5 fingers can do when they unify. Bam. So again, unity. We have to get together. That's the first part. But then again, why are we together? Why have we come together? What is the point? What is our function? What is the main purpose and function of us coming together? And so I've created the e-commerce class. I created the e-commerce investment group because this is where things are moving. Cryptocurrency, e-commerce stores. You're going to have to be mobile in your business in the future in order for you to succeed. If you don't know that, you better get on board right now. But you need to starting things on this level. Again, the investment groups that I gave you earlier, Fundana, that's Fundanna. Okay, fundana.com, and then republic.co. Go to those 2 places. You can research those places, but don't invest by yourself. If you don't have anybody around that you can hook up with, I understand. Get into it by yourself, but try to link up with your family members. It's only, some of these investments are only $10. So get a group of 5 and 10 people. Say, all right, you know what? We all just gonna throw $50 in here on this investment. We're gonna throw it right there. And then maybe another week or 2, everybody takes another $50 or another $25, and you find another company and you drop it over there. And then you keep doing that. And that's called diversifying your portfolio. You're dipping your toe in many different waters, because one of those is going to pay off. And when they do, we take that and then we move it somewhere else, and we keep stacking. Okay? We don't wait for the payoff for one thing and then say, oh, thank you. Oh, this is no. Brothers have to have patience and discipline as well when you're unifying. Come together, get that together first. This is something very simple that you guys can do that really requires nothing but your research on the information. When you go in there, you're going to see these companies, you're going to see what they're offering, you're going to see the technology that they're offering and what you're able to get back. Do the research, come together and just start doing it. Why not? Why the fuck not? You shit out $25 on nothing every week, I'm sure. Take $25, put with 10 more people with $25 and invest in something that week. Then in another 2 weeks, or you can do it, you get with people and say, all right, every month we're going to take this amount of money and do an investment or do 2 investments. But you have to do it. And I would suggest finding something in the cannabis industry, because that's what's going to be the biggest. What we've done as the investment group, we invested in 3 real estate cannabis companies. So we didn't invest in the cannabis company itself. We invested in the real estate that they need to produce the cannabis. See, there's so many industries that you can get into for investment. So one of them is investment where we sell real estate to growers for dispensaries. One is we invest in they sell real estate to growers for seeds for medical and stuff like that. Then the other is where they sell real estate to growers for hemp, because hemp is going to replace a lot of your wood products like paper and stuff like that. You can do so much with hemp. That's the resource of the future. So you can get into all of these things. There's nothing preventing you from doing that but yourself. Your own mentality of, oh, I can't do this. The white man is going to keep us down. The white man got 90-something% of the wealth in America. The white man, we only got 2-point-something% of this and whoop-de-whoop. Fuck all of that. Get out and do something and see where that gets you. Just do something. Get together with another person of the same like mind as you and do something. Make some moves and then make another move and see where that gets you, and put all that negative bullshit of this ain't gonna work or that ain't gonna work. Make moves. Learn the industry. If that shit don't work, then you've learned the lesson of what not to do, and you know where to place it this time, over here. But you have to get in the mode of doing shit. Sitting around talking and complaining ain't gonna get you nothing no more. And I promise you right now, this next election, Trump is gonna win this next election, just so y'all know. Trump is gonna win this next election. And then they're putting America deeper into the fuckery. They're trying to destroy and bring America down. But this is a great opportunity for you to come together, and when America is sick, this doesn't bother you. No matter what happens to America, we've always been in the same place. America can be great, niggas are still fucked. America is fucked up, and niggas are still fucked. So when America is coming down, the whole white supremacy America, they're trying to bring America down so that they can integrate it into the one world system. This is the come up for you guys right now. While they're too busy trying to fight Trump and all the rest of it and trying to save their precious American system, you can come up. Man, you can come up so big. So only if you focus, only if you organize, only if you unify, man. So I just wanted to show y'all this real quick. This was back in the day. This was called Operation Nutcracker. All right. So this was something that they came together with the FBI and the police came together. This was in California. They were doing this to test, and they were creating certain provisions on how to snatch you up, basically how to abrogate your rights. So they were literally coming up with things of, if you had a certain gang tattoo and you wore a certain outfit, a police officer could roll up on you. If you were a gang member, and they caught you, they could send your parents to jail based on like shit like that. So these are the things that you don't understand that are going on in your society, in your communities, that they have going, and just all of these things that they have going to fuck you, and you sitting back just living life like nothing is happening. You have to broaden your awareness, expand your awareness to what's going on. It just can't be, I'm here to be happy in my life. Okay, that's great, but I can't be happy if I don't understand the system in the system that I live in, that I count on to make me happy. Because as soon as the system changes, then my happiness goes away. So again, get out there, learn your shit. Just making sure that last thing I have you guys to do. So, oh, this is the other thing. Somebody asked me about dragon energy versus phoenix energy. That was the other thing I had to get done. So, dragon versus phoenix. Because I have a lot of you guys hitting me up and you guys are claiming one or the other. I'm dragon, I'm phoenix. And the reason I'm putting this information out there is because the dragon and the phoenix mythology runs the world. The dragon and the phoenix are the two most powerful entities or mythological beings in the world. Look it up. There are no beings more powerful than the dragon or the phoenix. If you just saw, Marvel just put out the Dark Phoenix, right? See how they got to turn the shit evil? If you watch Game of Thrones, the Dragon Queen, she turned evil at the end. See, and then everybody tripped out and said, "Oh shit, you ruined Game of Thrones. How the hell, she was this nice person and she loved people and was saving all the slaves and bam, bam, bam. And then all of a sudden she turned in the end and she just turned evil because they can never have the dragon be good. You got to understand, the dragon was evil for the Caucasian. So that's why there's two different dragons. I just want y'all to understand that. There's not one dragon. It's not, oh, dragon is the smack. Oh, nigga, I'm the evil. I'm going to smack you up. There are two different versions of the dragon. There's the dark dragon and there's the gold dragon. The gold dragon is more mythology from Asia. When you go to Asia and you see the gold dragon, this was a mythological creature. This was a god. You were blessed when you saw that gold dragon. He brought prosperity. He was of the lineage of the god line and lineage. So if you were of the dragon line, you were of the god line. So two different energies in the dragon. Dark dragon, that was the dragon in America, the Moors, who were over here smacking the shit out of people. Roll up, give me my tribute. When I come up on your land, excuse me, when I come up on that land, I need 1,000 boys from our army. I need 2,000 concubines for my harem. I need food for my troops. Bam. And we don't need the men. Cut these niggas' heads off. We don't need you niggas. Unless you got some skills. we'll put you niggas to work. But other than that, cut these niggas' heads off. So that's the dark dragon. So just so we clear, the dark dragon is a creation of the Caucasian based on the atrocities they experienced from us when we were in power, rolling up, snatching them, putting their kids, taking their wives, the women, putting the kids in our armies, then training the kids to be soldiers, and then sending them to go perform more raids on their own people. Okay, this is why that dragon is known as such an evil. You got to understand where that animosity comes from. It just didn't come out of anywhere. I mean, we did some shit. The dragon more was a motherfucker. That's why when you go look at that movie, Dragon Slayer, all of you should have looked at it by now. Y'all should have watched that movie by now. But if you haven't, Face of the Dragon is breaking down the symbolism. But that's where they say dragon more 4 times in that movie. Because the dragon was the Moors. And you were putting the pimp smack down. Wop! Wop! He was. So, you know what I'm saying? That's where that personification comes from. Or the tying of the dark dragon. Now the gold dragon, again, there's also a gold dragon in this society, and that would be somebody like Saladin, or Suleiman, the lawgiver. So these were Moors who were considered the greatest Moors and military men in history. So, but they weren't super vicious people. So like Saladin, when he came and conquered Israel, Jerusalem, when he came and took Jerusalem, and he took it from the Christians, where unlike the Christians, when they came and took Jerusalem, they killed everyone, literally everyone. It was Christians, they killed even Christians. And where they said the history of it goes where the blood ran through the streets up to the knees of the Crusaders coming through there, because they just literally killed everybody, no matter what. If they saw it, whew, they was hacking you up. The Moors didn't do that. Especially Saladin, he came in and he said, look, and you can go see this in that movie Kingdom of Heaven, where they don't really portray that right. They act like the Christians had some leverage, and they made Saladin deal with them. That wasn't it. Saladin wasn't about killing up everybody. He was like, look, man, we just want Jerusalem. He's like, all of y'all don't gotta die, man. For real, we got, because you can see my army out here, nigga. If I send just the front line in, y'all niggas is toast. So, I tell you what, we'll let y'all niggas go. Gotta give up the city. We'll let y'all niggas go. And we won't kill everybody. And boom, 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 he's working out deals. And boom, that's how they took it over. But that's the idea of a golden dragon. Somebody who will smack you if they have to, but will negotiate first. And that was more of a balanced person. And that was more of a Jedi. So if you go, the mythology of that would be a Jedi. So once, like Luke, if you understand how Star Wars is, Luke Skywalker, he was a neophyte in the first movie. He was in white in the desert. In Empire Strikes Back, when he was learning and understanding who he was in this dingy grayish type of color, because he was getting murky. He didn't understand light or the dark. Then in Return of the Jedi, he was wearing all black, which we know black ain't black, but he was wearing the dark color all the way and the dark frequency is the highest frequency. So when he walks in the beginning, when he goes to save Han Solo, he says to Jabba the Hutt, he's like, look, Jabba, I know Han Solo owed you some money, so I'm going to pay you that money back, plus interest. All right? I'm going to give you that money plus interest. Or I can kill you. Which one? That's up to you, dog. I can give you your money back plus more, or I'm going to smack you up. That was the golden dragon. Now, the Phoenix energy was much more of a conscious energy. They were the scholars. They were the philosophers of society, the teachers, the sages. That was the Phoenix energy. Okay, they understood. They were of the higher frequency and more of the balanced frequency of what you call the force, really, but you know what I'm saying, of the energy of the knowledge. And so this is why the Phoenix is much more revered as a spiritual bird or as a spiritual entity, much more than the dragon. The dragon is very revered, but it's feared, whereas the Phoenix is revered and exalted, like it's God. But they're both equal. They're both the same people. They're the Moor, they're the Phoenix Moor and the Dragon Moor. There's you. So when you're taking on these energies and and you're calling yourself one or the other, I'm a Phoenix or I'm a dragon. Dragon does mean clear sight. It does mean one who is enlightened, but it's the one who was enlightened who corrupted the energy, who corrupted the knowledge, who used it for ill, like Anakin. The dragon would be Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. Honestly, that would be, so that is Sith versus Jedi is dragon versus Phoenix. That's literally the energy that they have going. They understand that. They're refeeding you your history and all of this allegory and this mythological bullshit, but it's really just you fighting through history and time. So it's time to stop all of that and unify and come together. So literally, you can rise above all of this bullshit. All right? So that's it. That's all I had to say for today. Reparations versus restitution. You see one or the other. Reparations, return to your own homeland. If you're going to get reparations, you got to come back in your actual sovereign your not sovereign, but aboriginal status. If you want restitution, that's something that you can do immediately. Get paid for the atrocities and the fuckery that's been that's been put down on melanated people since we've been in society, that's something you can get immediately. You can come together and you guys can get that immediately. So again, I have shirts in the Real Naga store, in the Real Naga shop, that says fuck reparations, repair your nations. If that's really what you want to do, that's what we need to be doing. No reparations, repair your nations. Get in the shop, hook that up for me, and please, I need to get the equipment to make the Know Your Rights packages with the Know Your Rights cards and the list. I need some equipment, so get out there and buy the books. I need the number of books I need to sell to get the equipment would be 4 books this week. I need to sell 4 books this week. So if you guys give me for 4 books this week, the Know Your Rights cards will be made by next week. You guys can start purchasing and having them on you, and you know what I'm saying, and passing them to police officers, you know, at police stops, and start feeling a little safer. Now again, learning the law is going to be the ultimate for you. These Know Your Rights cards are not going to be shields against the police, but they will be somewhat of a barrier until you're able to learn the law and what you can and you can't do, and feel more secure in your status and in your rights, or exerting your rights. Okay, so hook it up for me. Reelnagas.com, Naga Knowledge Shop. Get in there, hook it up. I'll holler at y'all again. Peace.